Okay, now we turn to the last important component of culture, and that's values. And remember, we talked about American values, right? What values do you remember? American values. Equality, yes. Microphone, it's been coughed at, but it should be okay.
Individuality, like a sense of-
Individualism.
Yeah.
Freedom?
Freedom, yes. You can name a few if you want. You don't have to just limit yourself to just one comment.
Leisure.
Leisure, it's an emerging value we mentioned. Anything else? I think one of the emerging values also included romantic love, right? And also things like, I don't know if we cover this, do-it-yourself attitude, belief in science and technology to solve all problems, environmentalism, right? It's an emerging value, that one. Also, what else? You guys gotta help me out. Success, yes, of course. Success, prestige, progress, right? All right. Now, then what are the most important Korean values? Respect for the elderly, right? Yes. What else? Okay, collectivism. So if Americans have individualism, Koreans have collectivism. And if the two, fight each other, who wins? Americans. Not because of individualism, but it was a stupid question. Thank you. What other Korean values do you know of? Yeah.
They have like a will to succeed, like
Yes. Success. Very important. Very important. Filial piety. Yeah. Education. Yeah. Family, very good. Importance of family. Second the motion. Anyway, anything else? Any other Korean values? Wow, that looks really good. Oh, pali pali. That's an interesting one. I think it is at least an emerging value, right? Yeah.
On a more serious note, religious fervor, I guess.
See, that's not a value. Second incorrect comment. Third strike, you're out.
Oh no. Really though, it's not? Like
No. Because look at other values. It has a purpose. It's something that tells you what is good or what is bad. Religious fervor, what does it tell you? Korean values. Yep. Oh yes, diligence, hard work. See, that's a value, yeah? If you could speak just loud, it's okay too.
Did anyone say wealth? Or
No.
money?
Wealth is definitely an important value of Koreans. So
And,
here we go.
yeah.
Of all the values, the most important ones are the following: success, prosperity. You could say it's the same thing, but health and long life. Very uniquely Korean. Okay? For Chinese, is health and long life also an important value?
I think health and long life are the universal value. So we do.
Prestige, power, filial piety, ancestor worship, the family, collectivism. In a collectivistic culture, interdependence is valued over independence. Group values over individual wants and needs. Emphasis on education. Deference to the elderly. I think I mentioned this already. Koreans' emphasis on education. You can see many social sort of indices or indicators which show that Koreans are really heavily sort of fixated on education. One of the things we could easily see is how so many high school graduates move on to college education, right? Patriotism, emphasis on cheomyeon, the face. So you do things or you do not do things if you think that you're gonna lose your face. Okay. Hard work, emphasis on hierarchy, not equality. Emphasis on social harmony, conformity, loyalty, emphasis on personal relationships, politeness. Other Korean values may include chastity, ethnic homogeneity, son preference, honor, social status, anti-communism, and respect for authority, as well as an emphasis on appearance. It's an emerging value, isn't it? Okay? So, of all of these values that you have looked at, what, because if you look at American values, as you may have noticed, many of the values come from what? What religious tradition does it come from? Christianity, right? So in the case of Korea, all these values, which religious traditions are these values derived from? Confucianism and shamanism, right? So I can tell you this much. Of all the values here, the top 3 are shamanistic values. The rest, what? Confucianism. Yeah? So then why are the top 3 values shamanistic? Well, you have to understand what shamanism is. What can anybody tell me what shamanism is?
Like from our readings, they all had like a really vague definition of shamanism.
Oh.
Like it's basically anything that interacts with like spirits in a kind of mystical manner.
Oh, okay. Well, good try. Anyone else? Yeah.
As far as I remember, it's related to animism. Like everything has a soul, has a spirit. So in that sense, shamans, they contact spirits and they try to appease them in a certain way. Like if a certain spirit, for example, makes a person ill, they try to exorcise it. Or something like this.
Very good. See, I think everyone should at least, know what at least Korean shamanism is. I think if you look up shamanism, there could be a sort of a general definition, but I think if you look at shamanism as part of a new religion, then it's about nature or respecting nature or becoming one with nature. But when it comes to at least Korean shamanism, it's what Irina said. It's more of a animism. Okay, spelled A-N-I-M-I-S-M, animism. And animism believes that everything in life has a spirit. Okay, everything. So if you want to apply animistic thought to this room, the chair you're sitting on has a spirit, okay? The desk has a spirit, the whiteboard has a spirit, the roof has a spirit, light bulb has a spirit, everything. So you don't want to anger your chair, right? By resting too heavily on it or something. I'm just kidding. So in Korean shamanism, that's not it. It is also believed that the spirit that resides in the things that surround you have an influence on your life. Okay? So when I say everything, it includes ancestors too. So your ancestors, including your grandparents, they roam around the world. If they haven't gone to the other world, they are spirits that exert influence on your fate. So if you believe in this, can anything happen randomly? Anything that happens to you, if you believe in this animism, a Korean shamanism, is that if anything bad or anything good happens, it's not because of fate, it's because of spirits. Most importantly, spirits of your ancestors. So if something bad happens, so if you look at shamanism that is still practiced in Africa or among Native Americans, you still see this the traces of this belief. Okay, so the shamans as healers, they typically try to expel evil spirits causing illness. Okay, so from time immemorial, Koreans held shamanistic rituals every time someone got sick. Okay, because again, the belief is that evil spirit is causing this illness. The only thing that this person can do is to invite a shaman to come to the house and hold the shamanistic ritual and chase away or exorcise the evil spirit from the person. And that's what Korean shamanism is. Okay? Yeah.
Why are most shamans women?
Why? As to the reason why most shamans in Korea are women, I cannot answer. I don't know if there is any particular theory about that. But if we could sort of look at the reasons why, you know how the most respected shamans are the ones who are spirit possessed. So maybe the spirits find more common elements with the women. Well, I see some students flipping through the readings. It's been a while since I read the text, so maybe maybe it's there. Yes, go ahead.
The text talks about it, but I actually kind of had a question about it, like a kind of contradiction in what it's saying.
Okay.
Because there's the text about feminism and it's the one from the Women in Work journal. But it was saying that a lot of times the women, it was empowering because of the hierarchy in Korean culture, so that like they had no ability during especially the Chosun period to get some other position of power. So this was kind of like a liberating thing for among women. But wouldn't that mean that shamanism would have prospered under Chosun, but it was actually went down?
So now, since having listened to what you just said, I think it finally I could sort of come up with an answer for his question, and that is, throughout history, right? women have been suppressed, right, by men. So even in the religious sphere, all the so-called respected religions were male-centered, right? So women were excluded, even from ancestor worship. I mean, ancestor worship was the most respected religion ever since sort of Confucianism was introduced to Korea. But women were excluded from participation. So the only religion that they could turn to was shamanism. So I don't know if we could call this one of liberation, but more of an escape, right? It's the sort of only religion in which they could sort of participate and be sort of masters. But something that was not really that respected. So that's, I mean, if we could call it a paradox, that's what it is. Korean society is considered very shamanistically oriented, and yet the level of respect that we have for shamans isn't that high, right? So there is that paradox there. But I think we could look at more readings as to find more, compelling reasons why shamanism is a religion dominated by women. Okay, so it's something that I hope you could find time to look into. Okay, maybe if you could type why are most Korean shamans women, I'm sure you'll get some answers. Okay, more than what I could provide for you right now. Okay, so if we go back to this division, okay, between the success, prosperity, health, and long life as a one group, and the rest as the other group, sort of reflecting the Confucian sort of origin, and the first three sort of having origin in, or should we say, related to shamanism. How do we arrive at that argument? The argument goes this way. You see, all the religions can be divided into two types. Okay? One is this worldly religion. So you write it this way. Okay, so all the religions can be categorized into two types. One is this worldly religion. The second type is the other worldly religion. Now, if you look at Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, all the world religions, are they this worldly or the other worldly? This world means this world, right now, present world. The other world is the next world. Like heaven and, I gave you enough hint, right? You see, all the world religions are the otherworldly, because ultimately what matters more is life after death. Because life on this earth is very short, right? 100 years, the longest, if you are that lucky or unlucky, 100 years. But life after death is eternal, right? And of course, for Buddhism, it's not a sense of, someone having an eternal life, but being reborn as something different. So that also means perpetual life in different forms, right? Reincarnation, right? So, and of course, if you look at Christianity, if you take away all the doctrines and teachings about the next world, heaven, hell. There's nothing. You know, you're taught to live life as a moral being for what? So that you enter heaven and enjoy an eternal life in paradise, right? If there's no such teaching about that, why should people believe in Christianity? Okay, that's what, see how the other worldly religions, and if you talk about Buddhism, you're told to act righteously. Why? So that you could be reborn as someone, a form of a higher form, right? So, other worldly religions have all these rewards, all these promises that happen after you die. Okay? Like heaven. Okay? Rebirth in a higher, better form. Things like that. Now, for this worldly religions, what could be the rewards for believing in this worldly religion? Those practical things. Success, money, health, long life. So Korean shamanism is a perfect example of this worldly religion. Okay? It's all about now. It's all about the present life. Okay? Making money, living a rich life, and also living long and living healthy. So, you'll find many Koreans really unashamed or unembarrassed of eating all these different kinds of food and drinking all these different things in the hope that they promote longer life and healthy life, right? So, it's very culturally accepted practice, right? They do a lot of different things to prolong, right, their life on this earth. Okay? Yeah. No, that's again only the top three of the No. I meant these three are the ones that relate to shamanism. The rest more so to Confucianism. Okay. Yeah.
Why isn't hierarchy, like order, present in the most important Confucianist values?
Oh no, I didn't. That's not in any order.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I've just listed randomly. Yeah. Just a minute.
So it's Confucianism, the otherworldly type of religion? Or is it like...
See, the only religious aspect of Confucianism is ancestor worship, right? So, in that sense, whether it is considered this worldly or the other worldly, what do you think? I mean, as a whole, it's more of this, right? Because there are all these emphasis on how you should respect the elderly, carry on ancestor worship. But that's an interesting question. Because, again, when it comes to Confucianism, there's always a lot of confusions. I mean, there's always this question of whether it should be considered a religion or not, right? Am I the only one who thinks this was funny? I told you Confucius was a confused guy. May get into some hot water for saying this, because there are many devout followers or devotees of Confucianism, right? In Korea too. So, what do you think? I think she has a valid question. Is Confucianism this worldly or the other worldly? It's hard to tell, right? Did you have a comment to make?
In the way that the most important way that Confucianism was used historically was, governmental. Like it was kind of like a official thing. And I think so it did have a lot to do with just social harmony and, you know, this society that we're in right now, getting it to work right. So I don't think that it really had, I think more of the focus was on the immediate surroundings. I feel. I don't know.
Okay, we'll not try to arrive at any consensus, but nonetheless, important question. Any other comments or questions? If not, we move on. So it's there, right? Korean shamanism and the animism, and there are some pictures of shamans. So this is not a picture from the 1960s or 50s. It's today's. It's there. It's, you know, you could go to any fortune tellers. Not there are, you know, if you go to places where they have this swastika signboard, some are just fortune tellers, okay, but some are where there are shamans, and you'll see all those you know, foods on the table. Some of them are, you know, the made with plastic, but I think the fruits are real. It's not an exaggeration that every fishing village, every village that produces any kind of anything, will hold a ritual like that, shamanistic, okay, for a good harvest, good safety. I mean, the safety of fishermen, okay. So, interestingly, some of them could be Christians, but they'll still practice it anyway as a sort of a cultural activity, okay? Again, we're talking about 21st century Korea. Yeah, 21st century. And it is still being practiced widely. Okay, I always... you may not believe this, but this is me when I was a little bit heavier, with my head shaved. And I sort of focus on this particular type of ritual, Kuocw, because it is still being widely held by companies and sports clubs and production companies of like dramas and movies. Why? It's held to wish for a good luck. So if it is a movie producer, the good luck wish would be for the movie becoming a hit, right? So it, you know, gets so the person or the production company gets a lot of money or makes a lot of profit, okay? If it is a sports team, professional sports team, it is a wish for a good season, right? If it is a drama production company, same thing, okay? So here we go. Very typical of Kuocw with pig's head, okay? And the foods and rice wine for village's bountiful harvest. And this is on the drama set of East of Eden. So you watched any drama that you liked on television, you can bet any money that on the first day, before the shooting began, they held a ritual like that. Yes. Real. It always real. Yes. I think it's because, well, I don't know. Well, it represents bountifulness, right? Pig. Yeah, pigs, because they're fat. And this is LG Twins, the professional baseball team. Again, on a Lunar New Year's Day, they would hold this to wish for a good season. at an alternative energy tech company. A foreigner. For safety of drivers. All on a Lunar New Year's Day. For an accurate diagnosis of the newly bought machine at a medical clinic. Okay? Also, if a company buys a very expensive equipment, they'll also hold 고사굿 so that the machine does not break down. Okay? So, let's just jump to this. Well, the point here is that shamanism has been such an important cultural element or religious element of Koreans that Buddhism had to incorporate shamanistic elements. Okay, so that is why monks in Korea acted like shamans in the past. Okay, some still do. Very small number of monks still serve as fortune tellers, and also they sell talismans, amulets. Okay, so that is why you've seen this swastika signboards, right? Did you ever think why these fortune tellers would have this Buddhist sign? That's because monks, again, acted like shamans. So it was sort of one and the same in the past. So from today on, if you get to walk around Seoul and you see that sign, you know it's a fortune teller place. Okay? And you know the history now. Okay? It's because monks have acted like shamans. Okay? So just like Buddhism embraced shamanism, shamanism also embraced Buddhism. Okay? So all these pictures have these swastika signboards. And I'll just show you one picture like this. You see the ceiling? What do you see? These are lanterns with what? Little tags, right? You know what those tags contain? Prayer items. Like wish for health, wish for business prosperity, wish for son or daughter getting admitted to a Sky University, that kind of thing. I mean, is that what Korean Buddhism is about? It isn't, supposedly, right? Because Korean Buddhism is about meditation. You meditate to reach nirvana. That's what official Korean Buddhism is about. But the way Korean Buddhism is practiced by the masses is that. Okay? Just like the Japanese Buddhist. See, even in Japan, official Buddhism is one of meditation. But Japanese, typical Japanese, when they go to the temples, they pray for material wishes like Koreans. Okay? So this is not just uniquely Korean phenomenon. Yes?
Car, I want to get more money. Oh God, please make my wish come true. That's like everywhere, all over the world in Christianity, when it's actually about salvation, right?
True.
So basically, I guess every religion has some kind of influence.
I think
from this world.
what is different is that, it's one of degree, not of kind. Of course, wishing for something materialistic is a universal thing, right? I think every Christian all over the world pray for one's particular wishes, right? Materialistic. But I think it is often well balanced with this wish for salvation. Or salvation is more important than material wishes. But for Koreans, I think it's the importance is more is placed more on the material aspects. I mean, a typical prayer would always have this thing about earthly wishes. I don't know how I could express this more. Like, for example, let's look at a typical American Christian. Would that person go to a church on Sunday and like pray, I wish my son, has a better business, from now on? I think when it comes to someone becoming ill, I think the level of intensity is the same, be it American or Korean. But on a typical Sunday, okay, a typical Korean Christian at a church and a typical American person at a church, I think there will be some differences in the way they pray to God for their personal wishes. Okay, again, when someone close is sick, praying for that person's well-being or recuperation, I think that it would be the same. But other than that, wishing for like business success of relatives or the sons and daughters, or someone getting admitted to a top university, or whatever small wishes you may have, I think the level of intensity and sort of the level of focus, just this, I think it'll be much more pronounced for Korean Christians than, let's say, American Christians. Okay? I think if I could say this, a typical American would be like praying that, let me not be tempted, from this so that I, fall into disgrace kind of thing. Whereas for a typical Korean person, again, it'll be so much more sort of emphasis on material things. So again, when I make this comparison, don't think that one is better than the other. Okay? Because we all have our own ways of coping with this reality. Okay? So one has less concern for material wishes and comfort, the other more concerned. It's just different. Okay? We can't say one is better than the other. And even if you could, it's better not to. Okay? Look at that. All these lanterns with prayer items. Okay? Yeah.
I live in CJ House, so I live on top of the hill. When I walk down, I always notice, is that like a temple?
Yeah.
On my way down?
Yeah.
Like with the
There's a temple.
I wasn't sure if that was a temple or not. I just noticed the land very similar, and it looks like might be a temple, but I was never sure.
It is a temple.
So is it open to
temple
visiting,
plus, temples, you could welcome to walk in, okay? And shake the hands of a monk.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Shaking hands. Don't do that.
I assumed so. Yeah, thank you.
It's also a university, believe it or not. Buddhist college.
Okay.
It's a Buddhist college where only monks are admitted,
Mm.
and they study what else? Buddhism.
Whoa.
Any other comments? Okay. And churches, many churches in Korea have also embraced shamanism in the sense that, for example, the world's largest church, Yeouido Full Gospel Church, has become very famous and has become so popular among Koreans because of its theology. Okay, because the pastor there popularized this theology that if you accept Jesus Christ as your Savior, you not only get salvation. That's what a typical sort of a thing or promise that is given to you for becoming Christian, right? In the West. But here, you not only get salvation, but also health / long life, and also prosperity. So, what is there to lose, right? For you to become a Christian, right? You get everything. You get promised an eternal life, and at the same time, on this earth, long life. Long and healthy life. And you get all the money you want. But then how did he get away with, you can't say that, 700,000 churchgoers of Yeouido Full Gospel Church all became rich. No, right? So how did he get away, giving this false notion that you all become rich? There's a major excuse that you're not Christian enough. Okay? You're guilty of something. You haven't fully accepted, Jesus into your life, kind of thing. So there's always an explanation. Yep.
They lose money through donations.
Oh.
I feel that Korean people donate a lot more money to the church.
Oh, very much.
Yeah, why is that?
Because pastors of many churches teach that more you give to church, more you will get in return. And a lot of Koreans actually internalize this. And surveys have shown that they give, a lot of money to church because, sometimes in appreciation of all the blessings they have from God, but also at the same time in the belief that their offerings will also mean that they will get some more in return. Okay? So, this concludes today's session. But thank you. 꺼야지 먼저. Roll call will be made.